So sometimes it's necessary to convert units from one system to another. The following rules apply to metric conversions. When converting from a larger unit to a smaller unit, move the decimal point to the right. When converting from a smaller unit to a larger unit, move the decimal point to the left. Determine the number of places to move the decimal point by finding the difference in the powers of 10 of the units being converted. So if we want to convert 0.15, okay, so we've got tenths, hundredths, so we got 15 hundredths of a milliamp to microamps. So we're starting to use our little metrics, little m, a, little mu, a. So we're going to move the decimal point 3 places to the right to get from milliamps to microamps. Again, remember we're using factors of 3. So 0.15 milliamps, if we convert that back to exponential, 10 to the minus third, and then we need to add 3 more decimal places. So we're going to move the decimal place from in front of the 1 to behind the 1 to behind the 5 to add a 0, and we have 100 now 150 microamps. If we want to convert 45,000 or 4,500 microvolts, okay, so we've got 4,500 mu V, and we want to convert it to millivolts, little mV, we need to move the decimal point 3 places to the left. Okay, so now we've got an understood decimal point right here behind the second 0. So we're going to move that decimal point 1, 2, 3 to the left. That makes it 0.45. We've reduced the exponent to 10 to the minus 3. Now we have 4.5 millivolts. In this example, we're going to convert 5,000 nanoamperes to microamperes. So we've got nano, which we know is 10 to the minus 9th, micro, which is 10 to the minus 6. We're going to move the decimal point 3 places now to the left to convert it from minus 9 to minus 6. So 5,000 nanoamperes is 5,000 times 10 to the minus 9th. If we move the decimal point 3 places, that reduces the non-fractional portion to just 5 times 10 to the minus 6 microamps. In converting 47,000 picofarads, we want to convert it to microfarads. And the reasons that we might want to do this is because standard size components may not come in picofarad values. They may only come in microfarads. It just depends on the manufacturer on how they mark their components. So moving the decimal point now 6 places to the left will allow us then to convert this to a microfarad value. So 47,000 picofarads, 10 to the minus 12th. If we move the decimal point then 3 more places, so we've got 1, 2, 3 with the 0 in front, times 10 to the minus 6th gives us 0.047 microfarads. Okay, in another example, we're going to convert 0.0022 microfarads to picofarads. Okay, so again, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change that to a exponential notation, micro 10 to the minus 6th, and now we're going to move the decimal point, in this case, to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to have to add a 0 to make it 10 to the minus 12th, which is picofarads. Converting 1,800 k ohms to mega ohms. Okay, so again, we're going to make the k convert to 10 to the third, and then we're going to move the decimal point to the left, 1, 2, 3, So we have 1.8 now times 10 to the 6th megohms. Now we want to add 15 milliamps to 8,000 microamps. Okay, so we've got two values of amperage here that we need to combine together. So just like we've seen before, we need to pick one or the other to determine what we want to put it in. Well, the stem of the question says express the sum in milliamps. So what we need to do is convert 8,000 microamps to 8 milliamps. So we're going to move the decimal place 1, 2, 3. Now we're at 8 milliamps, and now we can add 15 to 8, and we end up with 23 milliamps. Okay, they go through the steps here of converting to the exponential and then converting them so that they are in the same set of units. So that's everything that we need then in looking at the metric unit conversions. When we come back, we're going to look at measured numbers and determine what it takes to determine whether or not we have good accuracy, precision, and how do we calculate any error in our problems.